Shabbat Shalom and welcome. Welcome those of us in the Shir Shalom Sanctuary in Williamsville, New York, and welcome all of Levi's mishpacha and community outside of the area that are viewing through our stream. We are so grateful. If you're on a Facebook feed, please feel free to share your mazel tov or congratulations. I'm sure later Levi will love to be hearing and seeing these. If you could see my face right now, it's filled with a beautiful smile because we are so grateful to be able to host this very important event in Levi's life and in his family's life. And we know he's going to do a spectacular job today. This is the day that we mark his Jewish adulthood, a time when we come together to really celebrate this next phase as he moves more into young adulthood and future adulthood. And we help to celebrate and remind him of just how important this is. Of course, in Levi's family, this is particularly important as there was a gap of a generation due to things in the world that was out of their control. And we're so grateful that Levi has chosen to do this for his family and for himself. We are using the Mishkan Tefillah prayer book. There is a PDF available if you are on the Shir Shalom website. If not, you can just listen as Levi proceeds to both lead our service and our prayers. I have Cantor Arlene Frank over here, and Harvey Horowitz will be joining us as well at times. We are going to begin in our service on page 288, and Levi is going to be reading at the top of the page from the English reading. All right, Levi, whenever you're ready. From May My Life at the top of 288.
May my life be one link in a chain of goodness, as I say the prayers of my ancestors. Help me to recall the devotion and faithfulness, though joy and suffering which are in every word. Holiness is my heritage. May I be worthy of it. May your tradition live in me, and pass from me to generations I shall never know, enriched by the truth that I have found in the good deeds I have done. So may I fulfill my task on earth and receive my blessing. And when the service ends and the prayers have ceased, help me to bring the Spirit into the world in which I live. May I love God above all, and my neighbor as myself, and be a living witness to the truth that never changes.
We're now going to be offering Levi one of the gifts of Jewish adulthood, which is the talit, or prayer shawl. This is offered as a sign of adulthood, and Levi's parents, Leo and Svetlana, are going to present it, placing it on his back shoulders as a reminder of his achievement today. The prayer for the talit is on page 289.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu v'hitatef batzitzi.
Amen. Blessed are you, God, King of the universe, who sanctifies us with your commandments and commands us to wear our fringe garments so that we remember the corners of our life. Levi is now turning to page 648 because this is his very first time wearing this officially. He is going to be saying the prayer for new things, which is called the Shechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehehianu v'kimanu v'higianu azman hazeh.
Amen.
Blessed are you, God, King of the universe, who brings us life, allows us to arrive here and be present today. I'm going to invite everyone here to rise for what is called the Amidah, or our standing prayer. It begins on page 344, and it will go through pages 360. We're going to be doing this silently, so just take an opportunity to praise God and just really place ourselves in this moment and appreciate really just being alive and all the blessings we've received today. You may be seated whenever you're ready, and we'll continue. The cantor is going to lead us in Oseh Shalom, a prayer for peace, on page 360.
Oseh Shalom Bimroma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, V'imru, Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael.
May the one who makes peace in the high heavens make peace for us, all Israel, and all who inhabit the world. And we say, Amen. We're going to be turning now to our Torah service, which is on page 366. We come together at this time of Shabbat, as Shabbat is quickly closing in around us, and we're ready for the week that's going to be coming, because this is the moment we start thinking actually about next week. And we actually read a Torah portion, Levi will be reading, from next week, called Toldot, from the books of Genesis, and we're preparing ourselves. And Levi is going to be doing that honor. But before we get to the reading and the blessing of the Torah, we're going to invite Levi's family to stand beside him. This is called Ledor Vador, from generation to generation. We're going to have his grandparents, Alex and Sonia and Mark and Maya, to stand over to the right of Levi. And we're also going to have his aunt and uncle, Marina and Casey, come over. What we are going to be doing is taking the Torah that's out there in the holder. I believe Svetlana will be doing that. And we will actually be passing it from one generation to the next, so that Levi feels that the tradition has been passed down to us. We understand the Torah to have arrived here all the way from Mount Sinai and was passed down from generation to generation all the way to Levi today, where he will be able to read from it. As they pass down the Torah right now, Cantor is going to be singing a song, Ledor Vador, from generation to generation.
Ledor Vador,
Ledor Vador,
Ledor Vador,
Ledor Vador,
Ledor Vador, Nagid God Lecha, Ledor Vador,
Ledor Vador,
Ledor Vador,
Ledor Vador,
Ledor Vador, Nagid God Lecha,
Levy, I want you to come over here to the microphone and make sure the Torah is comfortable. Get it a little more comfortable position. Do you feel the tradition in your hands? That is what has been passed down to you through your Jewish faith all the way today, and something you're accepting upon yourself. You're going to be leading us on 366 responsibly in the prayers we say before we start reading from the Torah.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Gadol Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Gadol Shemo.
Gadol Adonai iti, umavamama Shemo Yachtav.
Exalt God with me. Let us extol God's name together. Levi, now we can put it back into the holder, and we'll invite your family to sit down. We're going to invite Levi to the Torah that is on the table over here. And I'm going to invite you to take off the cover and to open the Torah. Right below there, you'll find the yad. You want to hold that up just so people can see. This is a yad, a pointer. We don't touch our Torah directly, but use a helper, a little pointer, and that's been passed down to us. And this is a gift from our religious school or from our community to you. Joanne Marcusy, our executive director, picked that out specifically for you. We are going to be reading now from the book of Genesis, the beginning of the Torah portion, Toldot. It is Genesis 28, verse 10. And if you are here, you can reach under your seats in front of you. Oh, wrong verse. Okay. So reach under the seats in front of you, and Harvey's going to tell me what page we should do.
Genesis 25, verse 19, which is on page 93.
Okay, so it's Genesis 25, verse 19 on page 20. What did you say? 93, and that is in the Hertz commentary, not in the prayer book. So if you're in the front row, you have to reach behind you to the next one, or you could just listen. It's okay too. We are going to be having people from Levi's family come up to offer the blessings before and after the Torah. I also should say that Harvey Horowitz, who has served as Levi's tutor, will be coming up to serve as the gabbai. The gabbai is the spotter, so if Levi has any trouble or struggles, he's reading from the Torah. There are no vowels, no markings, and he has to read in a language he's not familiar with. And that's a lot of his preparation for today. It is not an easy thing for a child or for an adult to do. So for the very first Aliyah, and we do have the prayer set out for you over here, and there's a microphone for the family right by where Levi is. We're going to invite first from the grandparents' generation, Alex and Sonia, to come. Yamod, grandparents. L'Aliyah HaRishona.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bashar banu mikol chachmim yivatam lanu et Torah to Baruch atah Adonai notayen haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ve'alech Todot Yitzhak ben Avraham, Avraham Hoid bet Yitzhak. By Yitzhak ben 40 Shana, B'kachtov et Rivka. Babetuel ha'orami mipadan aram ahod ravan ha'orami wo be'isha. Vayeta Yitzhak Adonai v'no ha'isho ki akara hi. Vayatero Adonai v'ataha Rivka ishto.
We have the blessing right after the Torah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת, וציין עולם נצח ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. We invite you to sit down now. And we're going to bring up Leo and Svetlana, Ari and Svi Ethel, Yamdu ha-parents, La'aliyah ha-sheni. Just right into the mic there, too.
Baruch atah Adonai Hamvorech. Baruch Adonai Hamvorech Leolam Ve'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol chayamim v'natan lanu et Torah tov. Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayjutzitzu habanim b'kirba v'taomer imkan v'amazah anohi v'tarach v'dvoshat Adonai. V'yomer Adonai v'shnei goyim b'vitnach u'shnei re'umim ime'ai yiparedu u'ra'om mi'om ya'amatz v'rav ya'avod sa'ir. V'yimre'u Yamaha Varadet Vehine Tomim Bevitnach.
The blessing after the Torah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Amen. Be seated. We're going to actually invite everyone to rise now. This is officially going to be Levi's Aliyah, where he is going to do the blessing before and after the Torah. And we call up Levi in a very special way. Harvey Horowitz was going to be doing the honor. And at the very end, we're going to help him out by holding up our fist like this. And if you're in cyberspace, please do it with us as well. And we say the Hebrew word chazak, which means strength. So chazak, let's try it out. Chazak, it's our way of offering strength to him as we call him up by his Hebrew name, Levi ben Ari Zivi Ethel.
Ya'amod, 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 Habachur Habar Mitzvah, Levi ben Ari v'Tzivi Ethel, La'aliyah ha'shalishit.
Chazak.
Bahu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'hobanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayetze harishon admoni kuo aderet se'o vayiku'u shemo Esav ve'acharihen yatsa ahiv ve'yadov ohezet ve'akav Esav vayikashemo Yaakov ויצחק בן 60 שנה ברדה אותם. ויגדלו הנערים, ויהי עשיו איש יודע ציד ישתדך. ויעקב איש תם יושב אוהלים. ברוך אתה אדוני
ברוך אתה אדוני
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. We're going to invite now Levi we can close up the Torah, take out your yad so we don't forget that, and put the cover on it. Everyone can be seated. And what we're going to do is we are going to bring Arthur over to the candy basket over here, not to eat. What we're going to do is we're going to pass out candy. Everyone should take one or two. Make sure you get to everyone. Your parents need to. Levi, come over here to the middle of our room, and we are going to shower you in sweetness. This is a light shower. No need to throw hard. I did have a candy up here on my bima to remind me that someone actually hit me a little while ago. This is just a fun tradition that we have in the American Jewish community. And it is not to hurt Levi, it is to show him that we really appreciate and love him. And afterwards, Arthur, we are going to need you to help with the cleanup as well, if that's okay. So on the signal is going to be, the cantor is going to be singing Siman Tov Mazel Tov, which is a way of saying congratulations. I hear the crinkling. Don't get nervous.
Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehilanu, 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 Uvecho Yisrael, Yehilanu, Yehilanu, Uvecho Yisrael, Yehilanu, Yehilanu, Uvecho Yisrael, Yehilanu, Yehilanu,
I think that was Arthur, that was our best cleanup we ever had. I've never seen it, and you didn't even take the basket to help you out. So we need 10 people to clean up. So we're gonna, Levi, just for right now, you can go back to your microphone over there, the original microphone, and we're gonna invite everyone to rise again on page 374. Cantor Frank is going to be leading us in Tree of Life as we symbolically put the Torah away.
It is the tree of life to those who hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. It is the tree of life to those that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. Ba-da-da-da, shalom, shalom. Shalom, 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 shalom. Eitz chayim hilama chazikim ba v'tomechecha meyusha. Eitz chayim hilama chazikim ba v'tomechecha meyusha. Ba-da-da-da, shalom, 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 shalom.
We invite everyone to sit down, and we're going to now have an opportunity to hear from Levi. Levi, why don't you put your speech, you can close your prayer book, get yourself situated, and remember to go nice and slow. Levi is going to share some words of Torah and speak about his family as well.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My Torah portion is Toldot. It's from the book of Genesis. I just read the first 9 verses. In my portion, it was about the generations of Isaac and Rebekah. Isaac is the son of the first Jews. Isaac and Rebekah want a child but can't get one. So Rebekah prays to God and receives her wishes. Their children are destroying each other in the womb. So God tells Rebekah that there are 2 nations in her womb. Esau was born first with red hair, and Jacob was born second, holding on to Esau's heel. Jacob became the father of the Jews. He has many children, and one of them was named Levi. I wanted to have this bar mitzvah because I'm the first one to have one in my home. My family lived in a place where bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs weren't allowed. My grandma's brother had to have his bar mitzvah in private behind locked doors. He had it in the Soviet Union where religion wasn't allowed. My aunt also had a bar mitzvah, but it was in America. Other than my aunt and my great uncle, I'm the first one to have a bar mitzvah in my family since a few generations back. Thanks to everyone that made this bar mitzvah possible, like Rabbi Alex, Mr. Horowitz, Cantor Frank, and the whole Shir Shalom Synagogue. Also thanks to Rabbi and Hani Rabkovsky in the Jewish Discovery Center, because they taught me Hebrew and Judaism. I want to thank my parents for making me alive and always supporting and helping me throughout my life. And I want to thank my grandparents for making tasty food and helping me in my life. And I want to thank Otto for not making things so boring. I also want to thank my friends, because even though we had arguments every single day, we're still somehow friends, and they made me who I am today. Thanks to everyone who's watching this bar mitzvah.
Wonderful, wonderful. We're going to have your parents now join, and they're going to offer their own words. Just make sure into the microphone. So Leo and Svetlana.
Well, dear Levi, today we gathered for your bar mitzvah, both in person and because of the times we live in, through the lens of the camera broadcasting this event over the internet. It was not easy to plan and prepare for this day, but here we are. Levi, it was your wish and your choice to prepare for and go through with your bar mitzvah, and we're all very proud of you. You did practically everything for this day by yourself. You managed your scheduling with Cantor Frank, with Mr. Horowitz. You studied and rehearsed without anyone actually pushing you, reminding you. You showed impressive responsibility and maturity. You are our firstborn and the first American born in our family. Your mother and I grew up in a different country, as you mentioned in your speech, a country where we did not have freedom to make the choice of going through bar or bat mitzvah. However, our grand and great-grandparents spoke Yiddish and followed Jewish traditions, as we know, and it makes us happy to see you renewing those traditions by going through your bar mitzvah. Today, we want to thank those who were around you and while you were growing up, and whose influences helped shaping you into who you are today. Mainly your grandparents, your aunt, and we also want to remember those who are not with us anymore. Your great-grandmother Luba, your great-grandmother Eche. They would be very happy to see you in this place. Great-grandfather Pina, babushka Fira, babushka Pola. They would all be very proud of you. And also, thanks to Rabbi Alex, Cantor Frank, Mr. Harvey Horowitz, the rest of the congregation of Shir Shalom, who helped Levi to prepare for this, for his bar mitzvah, and as well as Jewish Discovery Center, where Levi learned first about Judaism and Hebrew, and Rabbis Greenberg and his family, and Rabbi Lazer Lapkovsky and his family, and all the other teachers you had in your life. Thanks to all of them. Thank you. We're very proud of you, Levi.
Hello, everyone. We gathered today on a very special day. It's Levichik's Bar Mitzvah, a day when he's transitioning from being a boy to becoming a young man. What a beautiful job he's done this afternoon. As everyone knows, Levi turned 13 on May 18th, but due to the pandemic, we had to postpone his Bar Mitzvah until today. Levi really wanted to have this Bar Mitzvah and has put the time and effort to learn the prayers. This time I didn't have to encourage or remind him. He had enough motivation for both of us. Levichik, I'm so proud of you and how you turn out to be at 13. You have a good heart, you are caring, you get things done, and you have strong opinions like your mama. Your name is very special, as you are named after my grandmother, your great-grandmother Luba. It's unfortunate that she's never got to meet you, and that you've never known her, since she was a person with a big heart and pure love, which is her name in Russian. I know that she would have been very proud of you today. Here is a description of the name Levi from a baby name website. The name Levi is described as quite the character, stuffed to the gills with spunk and pizzazz, despite being just 4 letters. He's rugged and woodsy and is the perfect name for a little boy bursting with energy, and even better on an adult ready to take on the obstacles of the world. This describes you very well, right? From the moment you came into this world 4 weeks earlier than you were supposed to, you have made me your mama, and you have been my force of nature, as I always call you. On your bar mitzvah, we wish you to be healthy and happy, to continue on the journey of life, and to become the best version of yourself and the person you're meant to be. Keep persevering and keep putting the time, energy, and passion in everything you do. We would like to thank your teachers, Mr. Horowitz and Cantor Frank at Shir Shalom, and the Jewish Discovery Center teachers who prepared you for this. We are grateful to Rabbi Alex, Rabbi Lazer and Hani Lapkovsky, and Rabbi Herschel and Leah Greenberg for their support over the years. Thank you to our grandparents who are here, and my sister and her husband for sharing our special day with us in person. And thank you to everyone who is tuning in to see this Bar Mitzvah live on the video or on the video recording when you can. Due to COVID, we couldn't have a big in-person ceremony like we wanted to, so our family and friends are watching and sharing the special day with us. Thank you, and have a great weekend. Shabbat Shalom.
Levi, what we didn't tell your parents, and we didn't tell you yet, is this was not just a singular bar mitzvah, but I believe we at least had 2 others. Your parents also became b'nai mitzvah today by saying the blessing before and after the Torah. You have also joined, and I don't know if, Svetlana, your parents, were they bar bat mitzvah? No, so this is a 5-person bar mitzvah. Levi, you helped to support the entire family coming, and they can also count this day, October 30th, 2021, right, as their official bar and bat mitzvah also. I don't remember a time where I've had so many people have a bar bat mitzvah in one day. So mazel tov. And how wonderful that your Torah portion is called Toldot. Toldot means generations. It is like you pick the perfect portion for you. Honestly, in the Torah, you read about Isaac. I think Isaac isn't sure if he likes being part of this generational tree. He's had kind of a rough go of it in his family, and I think he wants to go into the new world and set his own family. But he is still integrally placed. I was looking at the bricks here. This is what it means to be part of a family. One brick to the next. Some are a little jutted out, sometimes not. Some generations don't have the same opportunities. The world changes. But we can still have what we call continuity. The bricks as they go all the way up. And I know George Perlman, who helped to design this structure, really wanted it to look this way. Not exact, but that your eye would catch it and see there are little juts, and that's okay. It creates one picture. You have helped to complete the brick. If you go past the generations before you, eventually you go back to the bar mitzvahs and Jewish life, and probably vibrant Jewish life in other places that you may not visit, or maybe you will. In preparing for today and listening to your speech, I know that you spoke to your grandparents and that you are now carrying their story with you, the story of the chuppah under the Nazis in the ghetto, a love story in oppression, a story of finding and refinding a faith that was not allowed in the places that your parents and your grandparents came from. How wonderful that we can say to those people that said no to Judaism, that said you were not allowed to be Jewish, we can say to them they didn't win. That there is still a connection because of you, Levi, and hopefully soon Arthur, when he gets to be of age. May the line of connection keep going seamlessly, hopefully not too many more jets. There's only so much we can take. And that people continue, like you, to choose to enroll in their faith and to know that it's important to their family, to who they are, that you inherit a tradition of thousands of years. How many people can say that? And that you help to preserve that tradition. So mazel tov from your Shir Shalom family, from the Buffalo Jewish community. I'm going to invite you over here to the table. There is a certificate that marks the day. If you want to sign it, and I put it towards your direction, it says your name and your Hebrew name, and it says about your commitments. All future revenue now goes to the synagogue. Sorry, we didn't say that till after. No, that was just a joke. He looked at me. He thought it was serious there. Okay. Yeah, just sign your name. And we have the cantor's name on there, and my name as well. And Shir Shalom as a marker of the day. Underneath it, if you want to look underneath the certificate, there's also another certificate for a trip to Israel. You want to hold that one up? Just show that to your family. Okay, that is the Reform Movement grants you $250 off to go on one of their nifty trips. I should also let you know that as soon as you turn 18, and don't worry about that, you get to go to Israel for free on what's called Birthright or Taglit, and your brother also is open for that as soon as you turn 18 till, I believe, 32, a $10,000 trip that is granted by the American Jewish community and Israel to you as well. We also have another gift for you, which is a Kiddush Cup. Do you see this gold? No, not that one. Over here it's like a package. Do you see? Yeah, the box, there. Hold that one up for everyone. You don't have to open it now. That is a Kiddush Cup to be used on important occasions. And a reminder today, that is from our men's group, our women of Shir Shalom, as well as the synagogue at large. We are so, so proud of you and happy for you. Why don't you bring those certificates and everything, and the Kiddush Cup, put it into there, and hand that to your parents, because we're going to do Havdalah in just a little bit, and I don't want it to get on there. And Cantor and I are going to offer you one of the oldest blessings, which is the priestly blessing. So just hand those over to your parents, and I'm going to invite them, if you are comfortable with it, to stand around you. Is it okay? Can they join you over here just for a minute? You don't need to say anything.
Okay.
Put your arms, and your brother too. Put your arms around him. We're going to offer you the priestly blessing. You're going to be laying your hands on Levi as we do that.
Okay.
And please rise, everyone. May God bless you and watch over you.
Yes, Ya'eh Adonai, panav elecha, v'yikonecha, ken yehi ratzon.
May God shine God's light upon you and grant you comfort.
Yisa Adonai, panav elecha, v'yasem alecha shalom, ken yehi ratzon.
May God lift God's face to you and grant you and all of us peace. And we say, Amen. I'm going to invite everyone, including Levi, you can go back to your seat. We're going to be saying Aleinu, one of our concluding prayers. It's on page 586 in your prayer book. Please remain standing. Cantor Frank will be leading us.
Aleinu l'shabech l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו בהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 591.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
You may be seated. We turn to our Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. And from Levi's family, and forgive me if I mispronounce any of the names, I know that Leo already invoked a number. We are recalling the memory of Matya Breutman, Levav Breutman, Pinchas Blishtin, Etya Kengziglang, Dora Kabakov, Gorsh Kenningsberg. And we recall them because they're present with us today, even though they're no longer with us. Their spirit is with us, certainly. Those of you whose custom it is to rise, the Mourner's Kaddish is again on page 598. Yitkadal, v'yitkadash, shemei rabah, v'yalma, divrach, v'yirtei, v'yamlik malchutei, v'chayachon, v'yamachon, v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala, v'zman, kariv, yimru, amen. Yehi shmei rabah, v'vorach, le'olam, olmei almaya. Yitbarak, v'yishtabak, v'yipa'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shemei d'kudashah, b'richu. Leila min kol berchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechamata, damiran v'alma v'imur amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, L'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimra amen. Oseh shalom v'yimramav. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimra amen. May the one who creates harmony and high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world. And we say, Amen.
Amen.
Zikronam livracha. May their memories be for a blessing. We are going now to the concluding of the service, which we have is a ceremony called Havdalah. It is at this moment we understand a transition, just like a transition in Levi's life, from a child to a Jewish adult. We also mark the transition in time as we move from this week, this Shabbat, which ends as it gets dark outside, into the next week, which Jewishly begins on Saturday night as we head into this coming week. And we mark this occasion because it's always sad to say goodbye, as happy as we are to welcome a new version of Levi into the world. It is also sad, I'm sure, for his family not to have the little tiny Levi that once was as a child. We have that only in memory now. But we are going to have that. We bring a little bit of sweetness. We have wine typically. We have spices like cinnamon, and we have a nice little Havdalah candle. I'm going to invite the family, Arthur and Leo and Svetlana, to come over here. Svetlana, could you just light the Havdalah candle? The prayers themselves are on page 612. And if you're able, I think it is a nice thing. No, that's so it doesn't drip. No, that doesn't go in there. So hold, what you want to do is just light the top of it and just hold it over the bread thing so it doesn't get on the table so much. The Havdalah candle is a braided candle, and it's meant to kind of evoke a campfire feeling. And again, if you'd like to rise for this, the page is 612. Cantor and Levi will be leading us in the prayers.
La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei v'samim borei minei v'samim.
To the spices.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la.
Hold our hands to the light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei morei ha'esh borei morei ha'esh.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh lecho hamavdil ben kodesh lecho.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la
Shavua Tov, 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 Shavua Tov. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase.
Page 616.
Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Bimbala Vayamenu, Yavo Elenu, Imashiach ben David, Imashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi.
Wonderful. Now we have one final duty for the parents. If you could just take off the challah cover there and lift up the challah. Our very final blessing is the hamotzi, which is the blessing over the bread that Levi will lead us. It's on page 606.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. The challah that's there is a gift to the family. Mazel tov. This completes your bar mitzvah and Shavua Tov, a good and healthy week for all of us. We're going to bring our prayer books out to the back. Feel free, Levi, if you wanted to take a couple pictures over here.